cars heading up. Matthew Wrigley's driving this Tyrrell at the moment, the W008. Monaco win, funnily enough, with that machine.
Wouldn't allow the team to go out and put a fully independent rear suspension that other manufacturers were doing running. But Mercedes' development of a car all the way through the 55 season.
Absolutely right. And just taking the next one up the hill.
So taking a Nürburgring Nordschleife, mixed Formula 1, Formula 2. Jackie was driving a Formula 2 Matra. He outperformed about 90% of the Formula 1 drivers in that field. I mean, one of those standout moments. The Matra Formula 2 car arrived to the Nürburgring and an eye-opener for everybody else. Probably about 320 or so horsepower. But I mean, a very effective car in the hand. He won the Belgian Grand Prix at Zolder, and the combination of Mario 3.8 backed by actually Lord Hesketh, this was, and they could imagine out of Bride's Head revisited in terms of the personalities and character. Nevertheless, this car was competitive. Behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car since its appalling accident in Jerez in 1992. Johnny, it was a car that worked well for McLaren over several seasons. Design team and of the Hesketh here, the 308. Which Mike Hill would race, and then race that car through the 750. Ferrari. That whole equipment, and then slightly readjusted the force. Yes, I mean, they made a V16 in the initial motor union. I think this might be a type 12. Yes. 3-litre V12, 2-stage supercharged. Nuts car. Power in excess. Tragically, he lost his life trying to break the world land speed record in a very slippery auto union.
But the auto union was fantastic with what they achieved. Alice, we are enjoying such
a mixture of times and fortunes, really, for all the shadows, certainly the
So Arrows, this is the shadow known as Arrows, and certainly in that
great XF1 racer, and lovely design, and it was a very successful car.
Yes, I mean the shape of the car at that time.
Absolutely, and there we are, just seeing the arrows head up. Driving it, lovely to see.
Contemporary. Wow! But Gordon went down a much more ordinary route and came up.
Race to this, and he pushed the car over the line with the engine it had. So it's Benetton heading off now.
Behind the wheel of the car, over the British Schumacher and teammate Martin Brundle, finishing on the podium, third single time.
Let's just have a look at the map. Maserati 250F though, and Marino Franchi. Great classic.
Just behind the wheel of a Formula One car.
And it's a lovely drive up the hill by Marino Franchitti to demonstrate. And the climax, T43, when we talked about the Auto Union going mid-engine,
Ford long complicated tubular chassis, 4-cylinder,
one of Tyrrell's good years. Most of them were a bit behind them, but Michele Alboreto.
That was a pretty stellar drive by the maestro, Sterling Moss.
It wasn't in rallying for a while, and then when it suddenly came back,
Got an error more on Senna's part than Jean-Louis Schlesser. But the battle between Ayrton Senna and the driver was trying to achieve over the other. I'm feeling it right now, Ben. It was just unreal to watch.
they're doing very well in the pre-war category of the shootout, so they can still be pretty rapid, can't they? They've got semi-Olympic or quarter Olympics, but it's lovely to see both of the Haas drivers are doing. They're heading up the hill, but let's now go and...
taking through, and there is one of our contenders for the pre-war category. Maserati 26M Julian Mazoub is behind the wheel of that Benaway. Well, we know how fast.
Yeah. Come on, in from the left-hand side. This is Concord. 12. On the right-hand side of that centre stem is Red 2, President Rob Thomas. Rob is in his second year of the team. Uniquely, he was taken from training. Typhoon. Is the 20th anniversary of the Royal.
Yeah, I've got a very good news to go.
At the front on the left-hand side. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get your cameras ready. This is the one you do not want to miss. Let's go comes on for the world famous synchro. Coming in from the top right-hand side is Red 8 to 3.5. Red 8 is minus 7, Rich Walker. A very experienced engineer, his third and final year on the team. He's flown Harrier, he's flown Typhoon, and he's a former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark 2.
Det verkar, det kommer ju nog
mais j'ai capté trop tard. Merde, dans les podcasts, tu l'as bien vu. En fait, j'ai pas dit qu'on
Keep
est
your
champion
eye on the synchro pair. Once again, don't turn back towards the spray line. Now down to only 300 feet. 900 miles per hour. Let me look at the pass each other. That's 30 meters. Only 100 feet. Followed by a second barrel. In a maneuver called the double roll. The logistics.
1.16 hill climb course, so it's not long.
The long chassis, we just went out with a champions, here we go. It is Carl Fogarty, the IG9. This was the one, he only did 2 races on this and then had that accident. He ended his career, unfortunately, but I spoke to Colin Hill this weekend and so good to see him. He's riding his BTR 1000. Colin was the World Superbike champion. So now we're doing that kind of...
Yeah, mon avis, il va faire comme hier, il va pas
about 220 miles an hour, so very used aerodynamics. It's even got some hip control there. About 240 brake horsepower down a little bit. Superbikes have just started for 500 Grand Prix. You know, the Australian, he's been at Goodwood many times in the revival and various things, and here, and the evolution here. We've been watching mostly Superbikes anyway, and to think this is kind of how they started from. They restored it, so William Dunlop, Michael Dunlop's son, could ride it at the Classic TT in 2015. And again, that rotary sound it's got a real howl to it. They were absolute beasts, and hear it crackling and probably guys can't do. They're trials riders, they're enduro riders, they're road riders. You know, they've got such all-round capabilities, all the map reading equipment and GPS that they need, and yeah, it's lovely to a lovely show for everyone.
Super dynamic, and again, hello, we're moving a little bit further back in time, but the same old trick.
Yes, yeah, this is lovely WGS, and they're getting a really nice little ride there. And this is the R80GS that really launched the big trail bike really, the BMW company.
Under its own power, no pun intended, but you can see him throwing flames out there. Now, he did keep it in his race. This is absolutely from Japan.
ça, même en termes de vitesse, ça va carrément vite.
Ouais, ça va vraiment vite. C'est accélérateur.
Put magnesium on the back of that thing, and when I saw this thing show up, they were tuning just the audio. Our audio guy of all things is covering his ears over here. I don't know why. It's just squealing on the tires. It's not a loud car by any means. It's probably one of the quietest cars. It's like more like an iPod. It's a big old NASCAR V8. But he covered his ears. He's got iPods in. Speaking of a weapon, this gentleman right here, Broncos, the RTR Lab in Charlotte, North Carolina, actually developed the Hoonicorn. You know the vehicle. I actually have the Hoona Pegasus shirt on right now. All about throwing that tire strapped up to Toyota style with a 3STT under the hood. He kept the original paint. He's got Beltec suspension and fast goes with the LS7 7-liter turbo GTR. But here goes down from the start line. Here the big continues on. Let's see. He's a magician. Where's he at? David Copperfield, James McKean, not Ryan Turk. He is Turkin, boot scoon, slide Turkin. That's what we call him here. We came up with a guy saw him last night.
got a little bit wonky there as Ryan turned. We can see there in the cockpit or out the truck bed. He's not putting anybody to sleep. It is not a bed. It is a highlight. He goes in. It just blows you away. I love it. This is so cool. Took it hard at the wall. His Jackson is mechanic. He's got the long flowy hair looking like he's from a rock band. I believe in a thing called Angle. And as he brought his vehicle in, he welded a piece to that front right arm. It looks like we do have a little bit of a red flag, a little bit of hiccup in drink water. Morgan sculpture, 40 tons of metal out front of the Goodwood house. And what a beautiful sculpture it is. On Thursday night, they did lightning on it, fireworks. I'm just always impressed with what they're going to bring. He's not moving in a little anti, man. And everybody wears the suit. The black tie affair last night. As I say, nobody really wants to fly. Nobody really wants to wear a suit. But you got to kind of be respectfully disruptive, as I said yesterday. And it's punk rock to half. Like it's all carbon Kevlar, James. If you go to his Instagram page, I believe it's Axel.turbo, he cut off the whole back half, similar to the front. I went and had a good look around it. Yeah, it's incredible. It's got the Volvo body, but it's half a dozen, but overall, again, thank you so much. I'm going to take you to Death Goes Fair. Very good. Okay, right. Sorry, Carl. Thank you so much. Start of the 21st century with Nürburgring 24-hour.
Celle-là, ouais. Ah ouais, c'est une prototype, moi, pas celle-ci.
Just natural talents, and the same thing, obviously, when you got to this touring car.
Bobby Allison, he didn't win the NASCAR title until 1983, despite knocking on the door. High Bank in Charlotte, and then down to the smaller Darlington circuit, and to win across all those three with 40 plus. Greg Murphy has been driving very hard.
Ils envoient les voitures une fois que l'autre est arrivé, puis un coup ils ont dit en même temps ça marche.
Waiting. There's a little kick to the right, just where you want to be thinking about braking. Then you find it inside. It's not fully dark as it will be this afternoon in the DT shape, but through climb called 1.16 miles.
Now we'll take you. I think we stopped, didn't we?
Flashing through the finish, then the long run out up towards the turnaround area at the top of the hill. But we have a red flag, we're definitely on track. It's normally a wing mirror or a little bit of body part. I don't know whose that was, but he had no point. Last thing you want when you go further up the course with those straw bales on either side is suddenly for a tyre to go down. So the marshals there on what is a very hot fourth day after three very hot tangos. But over the years, they began to have these increasing battles with Mitsubishi. And, a lot of road car fans, you were one camp or the other.
Yeah, no, very much. And that, again, you saw how many Subarus did you see? The gold wheels. This is one of my favourites. The Lancia Delta Integrale. What a car. Numerous world.
The whole element was what we got. Short and the wide. And the Integrale, we talked about this on there. It was a car that it encouraged you to drive it, but you needed commitment. But it really gets quite that car still looks quite model. Now this is the car. This is L. It really is. And some people say racing horses, Malcolm, the up. And this is really the part where the hill bike where it's on the double seat, but you're going up to the flip. Little attention there, something, a little bit of a twitch there, so maybe a bit of dust from the rally stage. How ironic for a rally car. Tom hated it either. Great job, Lebo. Have fun, lad. We and it's very special. So that was a treat. And still some other cars. Up to the late 1990s, and of course they evolved very, very quickly indeed. Of course, motorsport competition is about improving the breed. Two wheels sport, it doesn't matter. One of the earlier cars was raced by the Yeah, when you look at those, you look at the Celica, you're thinking very much of people like Didier Orioles. And the Haskers are putting on a Shootout this afternoon, but wonderful. A lot of the people at the hill climb here today would have been at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone last weekend. The commentary versus you and watching the skid cars go up out and they have put on a show. I think outstanding. I mean, everything is outstanding, but that caught my eye, and it was the car young, aspiring racer in many ways down in South Africa. At the end of the 60s, he came over to the UK. Yesterday, John Ferdy Eccleston had taken control of Brabham. One of the part owners and designer on tour next had gone. Gordon was handed the keys. What are we looking at here? And you might have been a little too hard. You broke this thing already. Yeah, unfortunately, I have already broken
this one, but this is a 4400 class car. You're absolutely right. That heart back to king of the house is racing. Another 350 vehicles across multiple different classes. Then, in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be out in Poland again, but for a different style of racing. This time it'll be ultra ball, and we'll be bringing the thunder and the noise to the street from Poland. Then, a few weeks after that, we'll have and the town of the victory opens up, comes out and celebrates music and racing. I love it. I know you're the bridge, they speed hills, ranges, lights, anything that does have function, anything that doesn't is out the window. You're absolutely right, there are no passengers on these cars. That every nut and bolt, everything is built for purpose, and these cars are incredible. We call them the Swiss Army knives of the off-road world, because they can do a little bit of everything. So these cars are capable of over 100 miles an hour, but they're also comfortable jumping 6-foot jumps, and also hitting those rocks really hard. I mean, let's get Robbie Gordon doing up the king of the house.
That's nice.
The man is so sophisticated.
It's a nice weekend for me, like both my honestly, it's perfect. Continually, don't change anything. Remember that when I was racing, winning racing, I missed fantastic style, and then slowly we just work it up, until everybody else is wrecking their cars. Great drivers coming through your book, like the best years in racing to do, not just because we won. Yeah, it was brilliant time. I just wanted to calm people out. As they head up the hill, 35.3 in the first let's see how he gets on with it, because this obviously is a
represents one of Britain's earliest and most successful.
He was saying yesterday when he just managed to go faster than me, I reckon, well, I do have more power, so I'm not surprised, but he does push hard. And look. So I think this is going to be fun. Now, you will have a bit more straight line speed up at the top end, but I think we are going to see a faster time here once we get up to the top.
Yes, we will. Listen to it, popping and banging. Corner switches, everything jumping on the brake, slow down for that pivotal.
And it's going quick.
And it's a pivotal machine, this car, particularly in the through bay touring car well so far, both in the first sector, but then it's had to stretch its legs a little bit. The era race car of the 1990s. On the brake shows Harry into the so far. He's over a second quicker than
Arundel Castle, and this is the 2023 version of the Ferrari Roman Coupe. Middle sector, so far not quite so quick. Let's see what's going on the steering wheel as well, and that's first sector, fastest already. So Greg Murphy's in good form here.
Yeah, riding on board, we can see there, he's going to hit the brakes at the Malcolm corner. How much does appearing just there on racing, so I'm sure he's been a big part of helping me drive because he's a little bit on the apex of Malcolm corner, rear kicked out, and he had to back out the throttle a little bit.
V8, so you've got lots of horsepower here, which is going to help him with the top speed. Round, by the way. A team like this would be getting up to that degree yesterday, but I think he can really put together a good lap here that is slightly
when I saw her earlier on, that's exactly what I was greeted with. A big smile, loving being here at Goodwood. The Island was in 2018 by rail, the 6-speed sequential gearbox. We just saw a shot of a Jake there going up to the gears. 5 years.
He is potentially a future champion in all sorts of levels. We'll see, he's 19 years older at the moment. He is a brave racer, there's no doubt. Becoming an American rallycross champion.
performance because he knows he doesn't quite have the...
Let's see how this goes. Keep an eye on him. If you can see it, he's flashing past you so quickly wherever you're watching from. Now, can he keep it all clean? Can he get down? Can he get